Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast. I'm excited for you because this is Extra Credit Fridays, where we go back into iconic conversations and bring in some of our most amazing, exciting guests. And today we're back with none other than Michelle Anna. You're going to enjoy this episode as we talk about entrepreneurship, how she got into it, but most importantly, how things happen in your life that might turn out to become your biggest story. Sit back and enjoy this week's Extra Credit Fridays with Michelle Anna. Let's talk about YouTube at the same time, because you're a huge influencer in that space. Like, what gave you the courage to say, yo, this is my purpose?
Man, I love questions like this because it makes you kind of like think back to the core of why you do what you do. You know what I mean? So surprisingly enough, my grandfather, he actually was a businessman actually in Puerto Rico, and he would sell plantains. Like he would grow them. He would go around we call it the barrio, right? Like the hood. And he would just go and sell it to the vendors and all these things. And so it's in me. I just didn't know it was in me until I got older. I was like, oh man, like my grandfather was a whole entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
And he even owned a bar in Puerto Rico as well. So it was always in me. I just never directly saw it. I just saw hard work and hustle with my parents to get us to where we were, right? And so even now, as I think about just entrepreneurship and being a YouTuber, you know, my life changed drastically in the public eye. Like, I started my YouTube channel back in like 2015, 14, as a military wife. I was documenting my natural hair journey, and then in real time, my husband passed away. And I was like, well, God, like, what do I do with the platform that I've built so far? Like, how do I share my story in a way that is authentic? Like, I don't know. I don't know what life is going to be like. I don't know what my life is going to be like a year from now. I don't know what to do, but guess what? I'm going to invite you guys in because I feel like maybe some of you, although you're not dealing with the same situation or scenario that I am in, I think universally, literally, like, pain is so universal that I think we can all relate to that. It's like a thread that kind of like brings us all together. And that's the part that I wanted to tap into. And that's the thing that kind of like allowed me to really thrust myself into YouTube, because I felt like there was this like area that people were uncomfortable with, and that was vulnerability. And I was able to tap into that earlier on, and I was like, man, y'all, there's something here with authenticity. Like, y'all, like, when you tap into what's going on in your world, you don't got to be out here telling your business and all that stuff. But I decided to go on a journey of unscripted grief, and really me sharing my insights of rebuild my life from losing everything, from a spouse to my money to my home and everything. And now, like, people get to chart how I've grown as a person and even just as an entrepreneur. So that's where even YouTube, like video format content was really birthed from, because I was like, yeah, like, people resonate differently when they get to see you go through something.
Yo, that's crazy. I want to break this down. You know, my guy Mario Armstrong says all the time, vulnerability is a new currency. I want to break this down because I think it was the documenting, you know, the realness of going through something with trauma, with you know, the loss of a loved one, right, and losing, you know, a significant other, a spouse, right. Like, when that happened, you know, I feel like, you know, I'll let you explain it. When that happened for you, immediately, what was your initial thoughts? And then what made you say, you know what, the world needs to see how I'm going to deal with this and how I'm going to become stronger and become, to me, someone that symbolizes strength?
Yeah, absolutely. At first, I was kind of like, I was in such a dark place, right? Like, imagine, you know, I was like, I'm walking away from everything. Like, I don't really know what to do from here. Like, how do I continue on with this? And what I realized was that it wasn't that my life stopped. It was that this was a whole new book, not even chapter. This was a whole new book that I was kind of co-writing with my creator, right? Like, I was co-writing this. And so as I was the vessel, as I was the face of telling this story, I had to trust that along the way, on my dark days where I just didn't want to get out of bed, and on my light days where I was like, okay, I'm ready for this. Like either day, I had to have the understanding that I was made for this, and that there were people out there that were waiting for me to respond, and to gift them what was on the inside of me. And I think what the best part of it was that it wasn't perfect. There were videos where, I couldn't even really speak. There were tears, but there was always something to walk away with. There was always a lesson that I learned, because I didn't want to be like a Debbie Downer in people's lives. I wanted
Facts.
to actually show people that in the middle of something, there is something still beautiful that you can extract from it. And that's wisdom. And that's what life is. Like there are certain situations that we go through, whether it's that deep and serious or something like on a lighter note, that really, like, if we can just see the lesson in it, it really won't be as damaging or detrimental as our like first response to it is. If we could just identify, all right, what just happened here, and what am I supposed to learn from this? Like, how is this going to accelerate me or catapult me into the better version of myself? So yeah, that's what I would say in response to that.